Hey guys, it's Taylor again, otherwise known as Woodhag here on the internet. Today I got a request to show my sketching process, so I'm taking you along. We're going to start a new painting, and I'm going to show you guys my sketching process. For my paintings, I use this Arches watercolor paper. I like the cold press version. It has a little more texture to it, which I think looks cool when it's done. This is I was playing in my sketchbook the other day, and this girl right here is kind of what we're going for, sort of Alice in Wonderland inspired piece. Yeah, so we're gonna sketch it out, and then at the end I'm gonna try something I'm a little scared to do, and I mentioned it in my last video that I've never done like one of those neon underpaintings before, but I really like watching other artists do it. So I'm gonna, once I get done sketching her out, I'm gonna go in with some of this neon pink. It's just Blick acrylic, fluorescent pink. And I'm gonna try doing a wash of that before starting the actual painting. So that'll be fun. Stick around. Let's get into it. So everything just kind of ended up clicking today. And really, I kind of whipped this drawing out. So I thought that I would include or make it just a real-time footage. That way you can really see my whole sketching process. I don't know. I like watching this kind of video. I think they're fun to just kind of put on in the background while working in my own sketchbooks and my own paintings. This is the type of video that I watch when I'm working on stuff. So I thought it'd be kind of cool. You can see here, I'm just kind of lightly mapping out the shape of the girl and what it is we're doing. I get a little more confident with my strokes because I start realizing that everything's just kind of clicking today, and I was able to get her down in a way that I really liked pretty quickly. Because really, I think this video is only like 20 minutes long. And that's with an intro and an outro. So really, this painting or this sketching only took me maybe like 15, 16 minutes. So not too bad at all. Usually, I was hesitant to film my sketching process because usually I erase a lot more and it takes me a lot longer to map stuff out. You can see me here, I'm buffering a couple of times, trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. But I'm pretty happy with how she turned out overall. I'm using an indigo coal erase pencil on that Arches watercolor paper that we talked about in the beginning. And then the eraser is just a Faber-Castell dust-free, just white plastic eraser. It's my favorite kind of eraser. I have a ton of them. I think I buy one every single time I go to Blick. Even if I don't need them, I just have a whole collection of them. You know, in case there's like an eraser shortage or something. You never know though. Life is crazy. So who knows? It's better to be prepared, I suppose. It's like every time I go to the store, I have to pick up a pack of my sketching pens. I think I literally have probably like 40 pens just floating around in my studio. I'm not a big fan of drawing hands, but I like this one came together pretty easily, which is cool and chill. I have a little bit of a tangent here with the mushroom, but I don't super care. I don't think it really takes away from the piece, and it's just one of those things that they taught you in art school that's like you never notice until someone teaches you it. I don't know. I think the whole tangent thing's kind of dumb, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I think there's situations where it would maybe make or break a piece, but I don't think that's the case here. Now we're going in and I start sketching the face, which is my absolute favorite thing to sketch. I love drawing faces. I draw them, even when I just do quick figure drawings, I usually go back and put a face on them just because I love drawing faces so much. You can see the eye was a little wonky, so I had to fix it there. And she better now. She cute now. I'm really stoked with this idea. I don't know. It just kind of came to me. I think it's fun. It's really whimsical. It's really like psychedelic, which is what I like to paint, whimsical and psychedelic. I consider myself to be a pop surreal artist. I just really like bright color palettes and bold lines and just kind of fun and silly subject matter. Going in, drawing the eyes. Buffering. Put in that third eye, and I think that really, or I guess here I'm drawing the eyebrows, but I do put in a third eye, and I think that is really cool and just kind of adds to the overall whimsy of the piece. I've been into drawing these little hearts above the eye or under the eyebrow lately. I've been doing it in a lot of my pieces this year. I don't know, it doesn't really mean anything. I just think it looks cool. I want to get a heart tattooed on my face, but I'm scared to make the commitment to getting my face tattooed if I'm not going to be a full-time artist. Because that's my dream, is I want to do this full-time, and I want to, you know, like how we see other artists on YouTube and stuff with their YouTube channels and their Patreons, and you know, that's what I want to do too. So we gotta start somewhere. Gotta get our stuff out somehow. The internet's crazy though, with algorithms and everything. It makes it so hard to get your work out there. Sometimes I feel like if you didn't do it, you know, back in like 2015, it's too late. But I try not to have that mentality too much, and hope that people that dig my art will find it. I just gotta keep putting that content out there, I suppose. Consistency is key. I hate filming short form content, and I suppose that I need to get over that and do more short form videos and things like that for Instagram and YouTube shorts and all that good stuff. But we'll see if I actually ever get around to doing it, because I like consuming it, but I don't like filming it. It's just not as fun. I like being able to sit down and just chit chat. And by chit chat, I suppose I mean just stream of conscience. But I like listening to other people's just stream of conscious talking. I think it's soothing. Especially when people are doing like art or crochet or some kind of art project in the background and just talking over it. I think it's really soothing to watch. I like that I gave her these little downturned ears. Normally I draw kind of more like fairy elf ears, but I gave her these little cow ears, and I think they're so cute and sweet. So I might play with that shape more. And then here, you can see I'm starting to get brave. I'm going back and just bolding up all of the lines. I was so worried that I would lose my sketch doing the underpainting. And I guess, spoiler alert, I don't. And it turns out really cool looking. It's definitely fits the vibe. But I was so scared about losing my sketch that I really went back and made sure all my lines were really bold. Which will help with the final piece, because if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that when I paint very tediously, and I tend to paint around my line work and go back in and finish the line work last. So it does help to have a thicker line. I'm going in with that roundy hair. I think I talked about it in my very first video, but hair's a bit of a struggle for me, so I've been playing with different ways to do hair, and I kind of went back when I was going through my sketchbook tour. I saw that I was playing for a little bit with this like rounded shape for hair, and I've been playing with it again recently, and I really like it. It just adds a bit of whimsy. I don't want the hair to be too detailed because I think it takes away. Just with my style, I think it kind of takes away. But having the rounded edges gives it just the right amount of whimsy. And then I'm going in and doing some of the background work here. So she's gonna be in a mushroom forest with these like twisty, drippy mushroom caps. And it's gonna be kind of at twilight. I picked up this pale lavender color that I think I'm gonna use for the sky, and I'm really excited about. I'm honestly probably gonna jump into painting this as soon as I get done with this voiceover, because she's been drying next to me while I've been filming this, and I think she'll be ready to go by the time I get done with this voiceover. So I'm excited to start. I'll probably start with the background. I always tend to paint my backgrounds first. They're just not quite as fun to paint as the actual like subject matter is, in my opinion. Still fun, but just not as fun. I love how I do clouds. I do like all these little twisty shapes, and I just think they're cute. Oh my gosh, I am buffering so long here, trying to figure out where I want to place this cloud. I decided it'd be cool if one of the clouds kind of covered up her neck a little bit, like her head was extending like up into the clouds. It's very, very Alice in Wonderland, which I love. Alice in Wonderland's my favorite standalone novel. And Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, who I also really like. But Alice in Wonderland's definitely like my favorite classic. It's just so trippy and fun, and I wanted, instead of doing a whole bunch of stars, I wanted just a small kind of smattering of stars. So here I'm kind of mapping out, or starting to map out, where I think I want them. Some of them get moved and some of them get covered up, but then I think this is the spot where I kind of notice that the top left is a little barren, so I think I go and add another cloud up there just to kind of balance it out. Again, with the twisty turny shapes, they're just so fun. They're so cute. So cute. And then I think I go in and start drawing the mushrooms here. I was really stoked on this kind of idea that I had. I'm sure it's not an original idea because we live in a world where nothing's really original anymore and everything's just something, but I had this idea for these like twisty, almost like witch hat looking mushroom caps. They were kind of blended with like inky cap mushrooms. So they have this like twisty kind of witch hat top, but then are like oozing like an inky cap mushroom. At the time of filming this, I don't know what color I'm gonna make the ooze, but because I don't want to make it pure black. I don't really like using pure black in my illustrations. So I'm sure I'll make it some kind of fun, fictitious color. I gotta figure out what color I want the mushrooms to be in general. I'm thinking probably pink. I'm a big, as you guys know if you've been around for a little bit, I'm a big pink girly. Really dig the color pink. Then I'm just going and adding these kind of simpler mushrooms are going to be just solid painted shapes in the background just to kind of give the illusion of it being in a like mushroom forest. So I'm just adding, I do change that mushroom that's all the way on the left, I think, because I didn't like exactly how it was. But then I'm gonna go and add another twisty cap mushroom to the right side here. I know I've mentioned it before, but every time I say right and left, I am referring to my tattoos to figure out which side is which. Again, best investment I ever made. 10 out of 10, would recommend. If you're a tattoo person, do it. Drawing these drips is so just like fun and satisfying. I love the way that it looks. Thinking again, and then here's where I move. I didn't like that both of the background mushrooms were like on the same plane, if that makes sense. So I move it up a little bit. My hope being that it will help some of the drips pop and just make the background look a little bit fuller. And yeah, just adding those background mushrooms to this side now. We'll see how it looks when I start getting paint on there, if I need to move any or paint more. But for now, I think that's a good start. And yeah, here is the final sketch. I really dig how she turned out, and she turned out so quickly. Then you can see I have her on my handy dandy whiteboard, and I'm just being brave and going in with the wash of that fluorescent pink. And right away, I did a test swatch on the bottom because if I hated it, I didn't want to cover any of the information in the face. But right away, I knew that I absolutely loved it. So we just went in with a big fluffy brush, or a big filbert brush, I should say. And I try to spread it out as evenly as I can. But yeah, she turned out cute. I'm stoked. So I was really scared to do this underpainting, but I kind of love how it turned out. We'll see how it affects the finished piece. My hope is that enough of the acrylic is kind of soaked into the paper that is still wet, but my hope is that enough of the acrylic gets soaked into the paper that my gouache will just glide on top of it, is what I'm hoping for. That's the theory, but either way, it looks really cool. I'm excited to paint over it. I think it'll be a lot cooler than just having like white. I think it will help me pick my colors a little bit easier. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm planning to get started with the actual painting process, and that will probably go up next week if I can get this painting knocked out this week. So yeah, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I work really hard on my drawings and my paintings, and would really like to get them out there more. So if you did what I do, consider sticking around. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.